So, yeah, as mentioned, my name is Clark Hogan. I've taught high school and junior high for a total of 27 years, mostly physics and math, a little bit of financial literacy, a few random classes here and there. But really, now, I mean, I always include physics stuff. That's just the way my head thinks. But now I really spent quite a bit of time on a personal development journey, trying to figure out myself and how to be my best self. And what am I lacking? Where can I find improvement? So in America, in our form of government, we don't hear very often the phrase, I don't know if you've ever heard it, the king is dead, long live the king. Anybody ever heard that phrase? The king is dead, long live the king. You've heard it. Kind of contradictory, right? Like, what does that mean? You know what it means?
I do not know.
Okay, anybody know what that contradictory statement, the king is dead, long live the king, what that even refers to?
I thought it meant the king is dead, long live the new king. So now it's like, because there's never no king. It goes from, the next person who gets crowned to be.
Yeah, so it's about 14, the year 1400, so 500-600 years ago. Started mostly in France, but in countries that have a monarchy, it was a way to reassure the citizenry that the power still will be there to protect the citizens in the country. That the king or the queen has died, and for whatever those circumstances are, and the new king or queen takes over instantly. So there is a transition of power to assure their safety. So the phrase sounds a little contradictory, but it's really a reassurance. In my journey of self-reflection and self-improvement, I started thinking, what am I the king of? Who am I? Who am I to me? Who am I to the people that I'm around? Who am I to my family? And then maybe a different question is, who do I think I am to them? There's who I am to them, and then who do I think I am to them? All of those things kind of formed around at the same time that this weird phrase of the king is dead, long live the king, kind of stirred up in my head, and I kind of built a little concept around that of my own accountability, trying to determine who I am and where I can improve. So here's how it works for me. See if this makes sense. I'm the king of, in the big scheme of things, nothing, right? None of us really are. In the big scheme of things, now Jen, she's the queen of Presidio. But in my little land, I'm the king of almost nothing. But in my house, I'm a king of a few things. But in my life, there's a few things that I might get known to be the king for. And people in my family would probably agree to this. Sometimes I identify as the king of unfinished projects at home. I get so excited about starting something. I'm like, oh, somebody needs this. Oh, I can do that. I can fix that, and I can repair that, and I can build that. So now I have all of these things on my plate that have created a distraction because I can do them. Get a little confused of whether I should do them, but my entrepreneurial ADD lets my brain say, yes, I can do that, and therefore I should do that. So now I have a stack of unfinished projects. I get to about 50 or 60 or 80% of the way done, and then a new urgency comes into my life, and I have to face that urgent thing, and the 80% of the way done project has to be pushed aside from it. So sometimes I'm the king of unfinished projects. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through that dichotomy of killing our bad kings and crowning our new kings and queens to be what we want to be. We're going to put to rest some of our old habits, our old characteristics that we're known for that maybe are less flattering to us, that we've been working on And we're gonna do it in a way that we can chop them up into little bite-sized bits of 15 to 60 or 90 minutes. Little projects along the way to work through that coup or that revolution of killing the old king and bringing on a new transition of power. So I'm going to hand out a little paper here. So the paper has a lot of words on it and they're kind of small. You don't have to go through them. It's nice if you aren't in front of us in the class and you have this paper as your standalone instruction sheet, because it kind of gives you enough to guide you through the process if somebody isn't kind of telling you the way to get there. And we need everybody to have a pen or a pencil. Here's some pens and pencils. Need a pen? So here's how the process will work. First of all, we're going to hand out some of these paper crayons. They're just shiny cardboard, and these are going to be our old kings that we're going to kill. And I have 4 different varieties, so you can take killing your old king. It's a revolution. You get to pick. You should probably take 2 or 3 because then you can work on some other habits or issues that you want to get rid of. So if you would have one favorite style, take 2 or 3 of one style. If you like different styles, but there's 4 different styles, and I don't know if the easiest way to get these to everybody. You should for sure do some. You want to figure out who wants what.
You got it?
Different varieties.
We have really big head options because I have a lot of hair.
Yeah, you do.
What's going on here?
And I'm not taking off my princess crown.
I always blame it on hair.
You'll need a Sharpie as well.
I love this color. It's so dirty and overwrought. Thank you. Nice to hear. We're having a sandwich, working
yes.
at the same time.
Yes, a sandwich, a Sharpie, a couple of crowns.
You choose. What? Oh, turn.
Okay, so there's different styles of crowns you said?
Yes, we have 4 different styles. Take 2 or 3. You can take 2 or 3 different styles, or you can take 2 or 3 of the same style if you have a favorite. And I don't know how well they fit together. I can barely fit.
I know.
Mine.
Because my brain is so big.
It might
I
balance
a lot of
itself.
regret. I mean, she takes up a lot of space. I want the heart. That's one reason.
What are?
You could put 2 together,
Hey. That's
like making zip ties,
Yes.
and I have plenty more, so.
Are we supposed to write our thing that getting rid of on the
will.
crown?
Oh,
We will, yep. For now, we're just picking our crowns, getting our papers. And then we'll go through the process.
I would.
I have to say, I was
It's a big thing.
I would have on this.
My husband's a software. I know. We're taking all the fluff. And then I would put mustard.
Counteract sandwich. It's just like this much short. Thank you. You're welcome.
I didn't get one.
Right there, actually,
What? Use of both there, so, all the items you can.
Abby's like, they're not.
There's a heart crown.
Be the queen of hearts.
How are you?
My mom's here. Just to be nice, okay? I'll put her off, Ellie.
The good news is,
Matter.
hopefully we don't need these crowns around very long.
Okay.
And we're gonna have to go our snacks.
I don't think it's priorities. Oh, there were brownies.
I found the brownies. Oh my gosh. I was forgot that.
What you think here?
I'm Evelyn.
No.
Nice to meet
Or
you.
Ben, which one?
Oh, we are.
I'm the anti.
I like your choices.
Oh, because this is stem saucing.
Well, my husband was sophomoric, and so they assume that I want it, I want none, wants all of them, and I just gag like her.
Oh, sorry, the default shouldn't be.
What's your name?
Sir. Clark.
What?
Or you can call me Clarky.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's Nikki's special name.
I know
Oh,
that. I have a cousin, we call him Clark. Can we do that in a professional setting? So Clarky, what are we doing? Sticky. What are we doing here?
As soon as everybody gets their snacks and their crown, I want to get to back on track.
Okay. I'm going to.
Got mine too right here.
We might as well, I don't.
Okay. So here's this process of the king must die, long live the king. First, we have to kill our bad king. We have to decide which characteristics we are trying to get rid of. For me, if it was the king of unfinished projects, or the king of clutter, or the queen of procrastination, or the queen of whatever your characteristic or habit or something that is holding you back from being your best self to you and to those around you, you got to name it. So on your paper, a lot of those instructions are just that process of coming up with who is the king or queen that you need to kill. And there's room for two of them there.
Can I have one more, please?
So then we just have to name them. That's the first step.
Okay.
Who are you that you've got to get rid of? Which king or queen are you going to assassinate? I'm gonna go with my.
I'm asking my family.
I am the king.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
What do I do with this?
I'm the king of unfinished projects.
I'm shopping, I'm the king of shopping, the queen of clutter, and I am organizing right now,
Okay,
but it's nearly killing me.
so write down queen of clutter.
Yeah,
So just start with one, queen of
and
clutter.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be painful.
Good.
Because to try and organize everything, it's,
We're gonna break it into smaller chunks so that it's less painful.
yeah, I'm overwhelmed.
Yep. So on your paper, once you've determined one or two of those habits that you have or characteristics you're trying to get rid of, then put them on the paper right there. The next thing is you're going to write that on your crown. You're gonna, in Sharpie, I think each of you have a Sharpie. So in Sharpie, you don't need to write king or queen on there. It is just the identifier that you've chosen. So for me, it will be unfinished projects, and I'm gonna use Sharpie and I'm gonna write it unfinished projects in letters spaced far enough apart, individual, so that I can cross them out later if I need. So on your crowns, you put in Sharpie whatever yours.
Just the word or
You don't need to do the queen of, it's just the identifier.
I'm thinking it's fun. It's that. It's so good. I've tried that and yeah. Don't you want brownies or something? I'm okay for right now. They're very good. It's just, yeah. Did you get yours, dear? Distraction. Oh, oh, you're on that. Wait, you admitted.
No, I had to do it.
It's a smart hour and a weekend. It's a good one.
If you have a negative aspect or characteristic that you have, that you're trying to get rid of, that you're known as the queen of something you're trying to get rid of. Like my wife would call me the king of unfinished projects.
Oh, yeah.
So, right on my crown, I'm the king of, I don't need to write king of, just
Yeah.
unfinished projects.
You have to-do lists all over the house that she made you.
She knows, that it's probably not useful if you make the list, so sometimes I'll ask her, if there were 10 things that you wanted done, you list them, and then I'll work on those.
What I've heard that works is the one spouse gets to write the list, the other one gets to decide the time frame.
So here's what I've noticed about children and adults. There are three parameters. There's what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And most men are good being suggested two of the three. If you try to suggest all three to a man, then he's like, then go do it yourself. But if you suggest two, this is what I want done, can you do it today? That how to do is left for him to figure out.
I think you use the word suggested.
Yeah, you said how, what, how,
There's how, when, and what.
when, and what, okay.
If you limit it to two of those, you'll probably be successful in getting it done.
Okay.
Don't tell them all three. Don't tell them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, because then it's like, well, then go do it yourself.
So how do we break that down? Well, you only have to remind them for 3 to 6 months. Which possible. What world are you in 3 to 6 years? There's different lists. There's still.
So maybe you should include when,
Yeah.
the when and the what. Leave the how up to them,
Yeah.
because that's what we like to figure out is the how.
Yeah.
If you want it to be done your way, then
Do it ourselves.
we'll do it when we feel like it. Okay, so the next step.
What does yours say, dear?
Intentions? Ooh.
Oh, the queen of what?
I'll start projects, I'll finish them.
Thinking I'm a big fat burden.
Oh,
Oh,
said
you
fast
are.
and hurry.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I thought it-
So you need to narrow off a few letters out of it.
I mean.
Do you really got a big fat person?
Yeah.
Yeah, burden. Best friends.
That's what
What are you? Yeah, overthinker.
Oh.
What's yours down
I said I'm the king of shopping, the queen of clubbing.
Oh.
And I am making me organize and I'm coming to grips
there? Good job.
with how severe it is.
There you go.
This is organized. I'm like, sheesh.
Okay.
Clutter's my second one for sure. What's yours?
Mine is perfection and kind of similar to control. It's a superpower. Yes, exactly.
My son's like that, that's a prison sentence.
Okay, so here's the next step. Now that you've identified your characteristic, you're going to now spell it down this left column in letters. So I think there's only space for 18 letters, but that's still quite a few, so we wanna, kind of trim those down. You're just going to spell it down in letters, so mine would be you going down this way, unfinished projects. Then comes the little trickier part of each letter has to have a step associated with it. The step doesn't have to start with the same letter, so you in unfinished projects doesn't have to start with anything, it's just, I need this many steps that are 15 minutes to 60 minute chunks of things that I can do. So if one project might take me 4 hours, I can break that into 8 steps of, okay, well, figure out, make a list of the things that I need to do and arrange the supplies and whatever they are that are in 15 minute to 60 minute steps along each of those letters. Okay, so that takes us a little time. Okay, and sometimes we get bogged down with, well, what do I need to do? So mine would be all of the unfinished projects that I see around my house. Pick some unfinished projects and what are the steps to finish those projects? If you're an overthinker, what are the steps to stop being an overthinker? How do you, what does a step
Someone
look like?
tell me, please.
Yeah.
What does a step look like?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
overthinking?
And then, easy, all I gotta do is just, yeah, go back.
You go do something fun and wonderful, and I know, because I'm married to an overthinker, that it's very difficult. It's very difficult to stop your brain and go,
Especially in the middle of the night.
oh, that's.
Oh, you're a night bird?
Oh, you're, oh,
It wakes me up.
it wakes you up in the night.
And then I can figure out.
Oh.
Then I'm focusing.
Then you're overthinking about the overthinking.
Totally.
Oh my God.
So you might need to set like an alarm every 2 hours for just a 5 minute
Mental dump.
breathing, close your eyes, go for a walk outside, something, and just unwind it. But, so you need that many steps.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of steps.
We're thinking, but it's not as much as, I mean, hers is full.
Yeah.
Remember, just long.
Hers might be feeling burdened. You know, you might need to trim your letters down a little bit. A little bit there.
Have you tried meditating before bed? Well, let's just say I've tried meditation and I don't know that meditation works for.
You know why?
Because I think so.
Uh-huh, cause you have to clear your brain and mind
Just like
and let it go.
recycling it back in.
And
Because when I'm focusing on not thinking, then I'm focusing on not thinking about what I should be
That's
thinking
great.
about. Yeah.
Oh.
Because I started like, I will turn on meditation on my phone, put over, and I just, my mask on and like, I lay there and I, every time I start thinking about something, I start focusing more on my breathing. That would be so nice. And then I fall asleep.
Oh, I wish, my son's a quantum physicist and he's like this, cause he's super smart, he's always in his head, I got him a giant teddy bear. I'm like, only a mama could do that. And I said, I challenge you every hour, just for 60 seconds, I want you to hug this giant teddy bear. And just be a little boy, and then the other 59 minutes of the hour you can work. Because it's miserable.
Okay, so I just need to fill out steps.
Yeah, like that giant stuff down.
and if those steps are a little tough to come by right now, just start a little on the process. And then you can fill in the rest of those steps a little bit later,
Okay.
so we don't take all of the time. But if you need about 5 minutes, Nikki's gonna play us a song while you think of this.
Go do it.
So fill in as many of those little steps as you can.
Do our steps have to start with the?
No.
No.
No, just any order,
Steps according to.
any steps, any step, any order. However, just try to keep them into 15 to 60 minute chunks.
No man suggests don't be Shakespeare. Round your throne room floor, while the
Yes.
jugglers act
What's
as
it called?
dance to
The king must die.
round that you once wore.
So if you're doing the Queen of Clutter, you can just organize this junk drawer or just whatever in the
It looks
15
amazing
minutes.
because my husband's been complaining for years, and now that I'm organizing it, I can see where his complaint comes from. It's overwhelming.
Everybody's king.
Your little steps, just one little thing at a time, so it's less overwhelming.
Okay.
And I'm so afraid your heart to yours cannot bear come. That's why. See the mind of trouble. Will that ride? Mama, it's the sun. I'm feeling up down. And I felt touch me, sailor. Take my word and go. But tell the officer that his name was the very first that you. With your left hand, with your left hand, till I run. Say, people had to trouble, you had to run. And I can't. No man's jester in Shakespeare. Round your throne room floor, while the jugglers actors danced upon the crown that you once wore.
Well, the very last sentence, positive, as long as.
There it is.
Right, yes, that's your perfection. I would like some pins, I have, Elvis Lucas of perfection.
How do you not be a perfectionist?
Yeah, because they ruin every single family party with perfection. Yeah.
I mean, how many-
I try to do like, by the mantra, like good enough. Yes.
When is good enough? Like, what
When it's
percent,
perfect.
what percent is good enough?
Yeah, I think also put a time limit.
Oh,
Sometimes I'm like trying to perfect an email and it's like, just send
Okay.
it, you know?
I'll work on it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can use a stopwatch, you just say, yep, I'll do that, and I'll work on it for 5 minutes and then I'll send it.
Yeah.
Or I'll read it once.
Yep.
Instead of go back and read it 9
You're
times.
not- yeah.
I'll edit it 1 time.
Yep.
Maybe that would be a thing is edit,
Yeah, like that.
review and edit just 1 time. If it's, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, it only has to be like a few times that you do that to get to cross it off.
Right, yeah.
And then if it's still a thing, then you just do it again. So, as you make your list, you might not have your list fully compiled yet. That might be a little bit, because some of them are kind of tough. You have a lot of stuff on your list.
Write it out. I start with that too. Yeah.
I started with the actual letters.
Good.
And came up with something that started with the.
Good job.
See, that's a perfectionist right there. Hand it over here. We got more hats for you. So here's the process. Now that you have your list and everything is broken into a 15 to a 60-minute chunk, when you do that, when I get to my garage and I replace my son's axle on his Subaru, then that's the one that's lined up with the U, then I just cross that off. So when you do one of those steps, oh, I did that step, and I get out my Sharpie and I cross it off my crown.
Okay.
And then the next one I go through. Oh, and how much time do I have? Well, I have an hour. Oh, I could do one of these things that's like an hour-long thing. I'll do the hour-long thing. If I only have 15 minutes, I gotta do something. Now, here's the fun thing. And it's gonna seem kind of stupid, but it's the fun thing, because we like fun things. Wear your crown while you're working on your stuff. And you're gonna be like, well, friend, I've got to work on this stuff.
I just hope nobody stops by.
When they do, guess what? When they do, they're gonna ask me about it, like, well, maybe. Did you know you got this crown? Yes, because what does that create?
Conversations that are awkward.
Yes,
Accountability.
which creates accountability. Because somebody's gonna say, why are you wearing your crown? I'm doing this because I'm working on these things, and now I have kind of this forced accountability with someone else. And by wearing our crown, it's like, oh, well, it gives me a little bit more momentum on the thing I'm working on. Then, after you've finished your whole list, which if everything is a 15-minute thing, it might be a grand total of 4 hours of your life over a couple of weeks. If they're an hour or a half an hour, it might be 15 hours over a couple of weeks that you're working on this little characteristic or habit. When every letter is crossed off, what are you gonna do to kill your king or queen?
Burn it.
Burn it, shred it, rip it, stab it,
Frame it.
something. No, kill it, don't frame it. Well, frame the other one.
Done.
Yeah, I would.
Kill it.
Okay.
This is no longer a part of you. You're going to kill it. Run it through the shredder, have a little ceremony and burn it. That's why it's okay to have 4 or 5 of these little things, because we have several of these little habits that we can work on all the time. So, killing the king, that's how that part works. And then we just go through our list a little bit at a time. They're little bite-sized chunks. And if you only have enough energy for a little easy 15-minute one, that's why it doesn't matter what order you go in. But whatever letter is associated with the step you chose, that's the letter that gets crossed off. You don't go in order, you
Yeah.
cross off the one that's associated with it. Okay?
You do 3-4 system. My chief complaint is I'll just like declutter and then organize a whole room, and it's like, cool, good. And then I'm like deflated, like, I don't wanna tackle the next room.
So when you're done, pretty soon you're no longer the queen of clutter.
Oh, I get to
That's
parade
what you-
around, like.
Yeah. You might become the queen of organization. So now that we've killed our king or queen, we do the same process, but it's on the positive version. So on the other side of your paper, this is long live. So we're now transferring power from the person, the king or queen that we've just murdered, and transferring power to the good qualities that we're looking for.
Okay.
So the process is now the same. So you have to identify which qualities you want, what you want to be known for. It could be the opposite of the one that you just did. So if it was clutter, it might be now organization. So you'll have a whole list of, well, now I have to organize my stuff. Or it might be something about a completely different characteristic that you're working on. So it could be any kind of thing. What kind of thing would it?
Oh, that's prettier. Can we get those?
What kind of qualities would you want to have to work on?
Hmm.
What do you want to be known as?
I mean, for me and the crazy amount of control and the amount that I could schedule, like, be the opposite of that, be carefree. Not that even sounds coming out. But, or like,
Living in the moment or,
present.
so, and that's it is it could be the opposite of the one you're killing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really doing batches of steps really related around the same thing, or it could be something completely different. Maybe I just want to be the king of bravery. You know, if I'm scared to speak in front of other people, then I might do something that would empower my courage somehow. What can I do? What are little 15 or 16-minute steps? Because we go through the exact same process, except instead of writing them on the crown at first, you don't get to write them on until you've done them. So instead of writing them and crossing them off, you make your list the same way. Then as you do them, then you get to write it on your fancy permanent crown, one letter at a time, however you can squeeze it in there. And the other good part is when you're working on these positive traits, these positive habits, wear your crown.
Yeah.
Because now you are the queen of whatever trait you are working on.
After I organize a room, I switch crowns and get to where I'm.
Whichever, well, if you do the steps on this list. Because you need a list, if you want to be if you're trying to kill the queen of clutter
Right,
and become the queen of organization,
right,
then you have to make organization steps.
okay,
So you might get rid of some stuff, so you're killing the clutter, but in that same room, you might now have to, I'm going to arrange my closet so it's not just getting rid of the stuff, but now it's organizing it. So those might be steps, so now you get to wear this crown if you're doing those steps. And then when you finish a step, you write the letter on. To be,
and then if anyone joins us, fine, if they refuse to, fine, we still get to wear the positive crown.
it's your crown.
Okay,
So. We're gonna take just a minute and give you some idea or some time to decide who you want to be. We know who we don't want to be, that was the other list. Now, who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? How do you want to be known in your little kingdom of the people that matter to you most and to yourself? The qualities you're trying to get, and these can be kind of deeply personal. So maybe they're not always things that you want to share. They're these can be some introspective time. So, if you have a few minutes and some ideas, write those down. Nikki's going to play us our next song, and you can start that identifier and then a list the same way we do. I'll hand out the cookies.
There's velvet. Yeah, give a smile. Sleep like but you really intention. Have your own way. Get in the peace. That beat a little bit. And you put like fire. Now you see. You're out there with me. That's a vacation. Yeah. What do you have your own word? It wants to make friends. Unique girl. The sweet little queen. Never run away. It's good to be king. Whatever it may. Seems me alive. Someplace in my life. Where I go every time.
Every time you go out on the five, you get something. No, I wouldn't either.
Your mighty kids, enemies beware. I've never seen the king or beast with quite so little hair. Well, please don't made a bit, and the king was before. I'm pushing up on looking down, I'm working on my own. Aspire rather an inspiring thing. Oh, I just can't wait to be no one say do this. No one say do that. No one say stop that. No one say do that. No one around all day. That's definitely out there. We were doing all our I think it's time that you would have arranged a heart. Took some needed advice, little fork was not small. It would sit well on the key is headed to build. I'll be It's a child, it's getting wild, being out of way. Oh, I just can't wait to begin.
Okay, everybody have part of a list
Yeah,
developed?
that was fun.
Anybody brave enough to share what they're looking for, what they want to be known for? You're on column 2 already, you've got a couple of ideas. Any you feel like sharing?
Sure. The first thing I wrote down was I want to be the queen of adventure. I feel like I get so wrapped up in like every day it's like wake up, get ready, go to work, come home, make dinner, do some chores, go to bed. Like it's like the same thing. Yes, and we don't have like adventures anymore. And so that's something I want to add in. So I feel like I did cheat a little bit on my list because I wrote down planning something to do and then actually doing the thing as each. I was like, I need to give myself like, okay, I'm gonna plan the thing and then a separate check to like actually do the
Yeah.
thing.
Because it's really only a 15 to a 60-minute thing,
Yes.
so planning might take.
It
30 minutes.
and it does.
Yeah.
Which is why nothing ever happens because
So we go on vacations, pack, you get less than an hour to pack,
Mhm.
and I plan it, and then my control freak doesn't get to plan. And I pack for both of us, and then I say, we're going here.
Mhm.
And then I stop talking because I can tell he's going through a process where he's trying to release control and be adventurous. And then all of a sudden he'll join, he'll be, okay, I'm ready. But it's a real challenge. Just put your suitcases out, start packing and just say, we're gonna go.
Yeah, we're doing the thing.
Like right by the door,
Mhm.
and then you'll just start doing it more and more.
And sometimes being on the adventure side is not planning and have somebody else do it, say, you know what? We're going away for one night, you plan all that, you pack my stuff. I don't even know what night it is.
It's here for the
You
ride.
clear the
Yeah.
calendar for me, if whatever it is, you tell me when I get home
Uh-huh,
that we're going,
uh-huh.
and then we go.
He just says,
Now you're a victim of adventure.
he says north, south, east, or west. That's all he gets to know.
Mhm. I love that.
Yeah. Anybody else, wanna share what they're trying to be known for?
Organization and enjoyment, because it's not enjoyable to be in a cluttered environment.
And it's time consuming, so try to find all my junk when I'm working on something. When it's all a cluttery mess, it takes 30-40% more time to find what I'm working on.
Which makes me late, but yeah, and I'm amazed that all the things that my husband's been saying for years, I'm like, oh. I'm having epiphany after epiphany, like, oh, okay, this is why he was saying that.
On my list, I chose I wanted to be the king of influence. I've taught school for all those years, and I don't know if I had any influence at all. I want to be an influence on my children, my family,
That's a big
but
one.
there's always opportunities to be an influence on everybody. So one of the things I put on my step was to teach a class, because I haven't taught school for like a few years. So I get to now put a letter I on my crown, because I've now taught a class. So I get to fill in one of my letters, and I can do a little check mark that that one is done, and then I can go down the list. So that's that process. It's killing our old kings and queens, getting rid of our bad habits, and simultaneously working towards the habits and characteristics that we want to adapt, that we want to be known for. And then you just keep doing it. If you're still stuck with the same old king and queen, you just do the same one. After I do my unfinished projects list, if I still have a whole bunch, then I can do it again with another disposable crown and make a list, and it gives me that gamification, a little bit of that, reward system, putting my little crown on and working in the garage, working in the yard, or in the house, and get some of those things done until it'll kill that.
Look what you've done, you've just helped us with homework.
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. If you don't do anything with it. If you were the queen of procrastination, then you figure you'll turn in your paper later, then it is what you do. If it does make a difference to somebody, then it's an influence. All right. Okay, well, so I'm pretty well done, but if you want to keep talking, if you want to share some more of these things, if you want to share what your steps are, then I have all the time in the world to share with you. It's just, if you need to go, then.
Thank you, that was wonderful.
If you need more of these papers, because
I'll take a couple more.
Let's
go.
I'm always up there.
Yeah, that was